You might not know this, but my entire life has been this struggle of quantity versus quality. And for the longest time, I thought quantity was absolutely the correct way to go forward. We are finite beings, we seek resources, we need to get as many as we can. So quantity is always the way to go. And I think I'm sick of it. Welcome back, guys. It's Jax. And honestly, our society is obsessed with this debate of quantity versus quality. You will get people on both sides. I think it's pretty obvious what each one is going for. If you're going for quantity, you're going for biggest calories, best bang for your buck. You're gonna try and get as many of things as you can, have 1,000 pairs of socks, have 1,000,000 different shirts. And the quantity people, they have a point about accumulating resources and all of this kind of stuff and having this. But at the end of the day, if these things don't have quality, then you have nothing. And like I said, my entire life has been spent chasing quantity, and I think it's killing me. Like, I really think that it's not the right way to be. I used to be the kid that would always go for the cheapest snack in the grocery store when I was told I could have it. I would try and maximize the amount of time I could get before having to go to school in the morning. So I'd wake up super early so I could watch all my favorite cartoons, and I wanted as many as possible. I wanted to watch them all. I grew up in like the Pokemon generation where it was all about collecting all the Pokemon, collecting all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, getting all the Blades or the Bakugan or whatever the heck it was. It was always like you want a complete and total collection of whatever you're collecting or whatever you're doing. And don't get me wrong, the quality people were always there. My cousins are good examples of people who went after quality, not quantity. I can remember always going over to their house and they would be terrified that my brothers and I would break their stuff. They'd be like, "Oh my gosh, no, like let's play outside. Like let's not touch any of my stuff." And while that's like their own trauma and their own thing that they've got to deal with, I remember being really confused at them being so protective over all of their stuff, because my stuff, I was just like, yeah, here, go play, like whatever. It's just a tractor or whatever it was. But I had quite a few of them, and they weren't high quality or anything. I don't think any of them are around today. I think they've all been destroyed, but by the next generation, not by me. I'm just saying. But the quality debate really comes to a head when you realize that if you invest your time in high quality things, whether it is clothing, food, where you live, anything that involves your body or your well-being, what you watch, if you choose to watch high quality television or movies, high quality books, you do realize that life is so much better, like high quality food is so important. It is more expensive and not everybody has access to it. But if you have access to it, I really hope that you are embracing it and making the best of it, because I have been in situations, I have been the starving university kid where quality food was not an option, and it sucks. It is no fun whatsoever to have to eat ramen for a week or, just have access to bad quality food. I food poisoned myself several times in university because I did not have access to the high quality that, you would want. So quality over quantity every time. And the reason I'm making this video and the inspiration for it was I've been watching this critic on YouTube, and he critiques television shows And he gets really, really into it. He talks about the characters and the writing and the set design, and just really explores everything. He goes into the plot and asks, does this plot make sense? And I have watched his videos on TV shows that I have watched and I also haven't watched. And it's crazy to me because some of these shows I would just have on in the background and wouldn't pay a lot of attention to. And he goes into it and talks about how this show is just ridiculous and the plot makes no sense and the stage design is awful and the acting is hollow and the writing doesn't make any sense. And I remember just being so struck with, like, I wasn't paying attention because I'm going for quantity, not quality. I'm going for, oh yeah, I've seen that show. And I'm not actually appreciating the quality of what I'm consuming. And it got me thinking about this whole quantity versus quality debate and how some of us want to have everything and we want to collect all the Pokemon. And then some of us just want our favorites. And some of us just aspire to have a few things that are very near and dear to them. And that's it. But you can also make that step into kind of a spiritual point of view. And you know me, I love taking it to a spiritual point of view, because you can talk about materialism, right? Like where you live, how much money you have, what you collect, what clothes you wear. Do you wear fast fashion? Do you have lots of jewelry? Do you have loads of tattoos? Like, you can talk about the material world in terms of quantity versus quality. You can talk about, how many hats do you own? How many bathrooms are in your house? How many vacations do you go on? That's all the material stuff. And you can definitely look at that, quality versus quantity. You can say, well, I have high quality stuff. I really appreciate all of my material wealth. Or, well, I have lots of it. I've got 400 pairs of shoes and they're all amazing and they're collector's editions, whatever. But when you start looking at quality versus quantity in your friendships, in your spirituality, in the way you love people, that takes like a huge turn. That's like, I could do a 20-part series on this, but I think we're all coded to make lots of friends very quickly when we're young, like in kindergarten and grade 5 and, primary school. You make loads of friends and you have all these friends and, your mom organizes birthday parties and all of this stuff. Like, I think at some of my birthday parties, I'd have close to like 30 kids there, which is insane. Do I talk to a single one of them? Actually, yeah, a few of them, but that's beside the point. As kids, we make loads of friends, and that's very much a quantity thing. We just all get along. Maybe it is a quality thing. We just genuinely like each other, and when we're that young, you don't have any baggage or drama to bring to the table, so you just get along really well. But as you get older, you really start to quality control your friends, which sounds crazy, but it's true. Today I have maybe 7 or 8 very close friends who, I would like take a bullet for, or that I love a lot. And having talked to like my brother and my parents and many other people, I think 7 is like a very high number. I know from like my brother and my friend and my parents and some of my other friends, the number's probably closer to like 1 or 2. And I know that there's like a lot of research into how our generation makes friends and keeps friends and things like that. But it really does sort of come home that you've quality controlled and you're not really, I think a lot of people are not really willing to be around toxic or awful people. And so we get rid of them. And as soon as something bad happens, it's like, nope, we're getting rid of them. And I think the other thing is people are not picking up new friends. And maybe this deserves a video on its own. So I will make that. But if you quality control for the people in your life and your relationships, it is far better than trying to just amass a huge following or amass a bunch of friendships. Because whether you like it or not, friendships and personal relationships are not something that you can just acquire like Pokemon cards or something. There takes like an inherent amount of quality You have to spend quality time. You have to invest your energy, and the idea of like accumulating friends like that is kind of crazy unless you're like playing The Sims or something where you can just acquire relationships and that helps you get promotions or whatever. So yeah, I think the guiding message of this video, which has been very scatterbrained, and I know it has, is quality over quantity in almost everything, you know? If the age-old saying of everything in moderation, even moderation exists, then the idea of having all the money, all the friends, all the clothes, all the houses, that really just falls on its face. And I think almost every philosopher on the planet would most likely agree with the idea that you want quality over quantity. And I think that's a huge part of what philosophers try and get to the point of. So always strive for high quality in whatever you do. Don't worry about the guy who goes on 400 vacations a year or has 400 friends or makes $400,000 a year, because he hasn't learned what you know now or what you kind of understand about the universe. So be appreciative of where you are and of what you have, and treat everything like it's a high quality diamond, because you never know. One day it might be. Thank you for watching. And as always, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.